In this video, we're going to flip through the month of November in my Erin Condren Monthly Planner. Hi, I'm Kristen, and I post functional planning videos on my channel a couple times a week. If you're like me and you need a gentle reminder to just keep it simple, please make sure you're subscribed, and I'll be right back. Now that we're in December, it's time to do a flip through of how I used my Erin Condren Monthly Planner functionally in the month of November. I take my monthly planner and I use the line notes pages in each month to make a weekly overview because my planning style does not need a 2-page spread of weekly plans. And I have learned over the course of the last year that I just need to-do lists mostly, and then I just need to see just like a high level overview of what my day is going to look like. I don't need that full 2-week spread of stuff to crowd out my plans so that I don't feel so chaotic. I am going to get ready to do a entire year flip for 2023, so be on the lookout for that in January, where I will go over the first 6 months of the year in this monthly planner, and then I'll switch back to this one to show you the final 6 months of 2023. The reason I have 2 planners is because I switched over to the academic year versus the calendar year this year to keep my planner aligned with my son's school schedule. So the first half of the year is in this book, and then the rest is like blank. And then the rest of the year is in this one. And then when this one is over, we'll do a full flip of the academic year. And then from now on, if I stay on the academic year, we'll do the full flip in one planner from now on. So anyway, in November, here is the monthly spread. And I remember feeling like kind of bummed out that this was the color. I really love this color. Blue is my favorite color, but it doesn't scream fall to me. And so I just remember feeling kind of like bummed out, but I don't really know what color you would put for November. I don't know how that would work to make it feel more fallish. I think maybe if they switched September with November and made September this blue color and then made November this purple color, I feel like that would make more sense to me. I feel like September still for me in Houston is more summery, and this color is more summery to me, and then this deep purple leans more fall to me. So anyway, it doesn't really matter, but I was kind of bummed. And I think next year I might actually do like a sticker kit for November so that it does look fall-ish. And yeah, that's just something I learned. I love the Erin Condren Monthly color scheme, and I normally love how monochromatic I normally make my months, but for November, and I think starting in October, like the last 3 months of the year, I might do a little more stickering so that I can get that holiday, festive, seasonal feeling. And that really only happens this time of year. It's not, I don't need that for like springtime or summertime or anything like that. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts for now. So on here, I can't remember. I remember in October, I thought this was too cluttered, so I took all of that out, and that worked better for me. And I still have continued to do my monthly to-do list in the sidebar, and I like that as well. And there isn't much else to say here. I did ask Kate to make some BW icons of these checkered flags, and so eventually they will be available because she said that they are going to add them to the list. So I I think they're just going to be the BW icons just like this, because I love Formula One, and so I made my own stickers for all the races. But now when those are available for next year, I'll be able to just use regular Planner Kate labels, and I can write in whatever I need to note, and then use a cute little BW icon that matches all the rest. I'm really big on making sure things match. I feel like that helps it to be more like cohesive, and it keeps a common theme so that it's not cluttered and chaotic feeling. The dashboard I didn't do much with, I just wrote on it. I used my R scripts from Planner Kate to relabel the sections, and I just used it like a dashboard. I just made like some high-level notes here. I covered up this habit tracker area with a Planner Kate sticker that I trimmed to fit so that I could use that space for more notes, because I'm not really doing habit tracking right now, and so I just took some notes here for Black Friday, and then I didn't even go back and check anything off as I purchased things. This month I did a survival menu for our meal plan, and normally I do an entire month of menu planning, and this usually works for us, and I like doing this, and I will continue to do this. But in November, it's one of those months that's like, there's a lot of cooking and prepping of things going on in my kitchen, and it's usually starting to be that time of year where things are just getting way busier. And so having just like a survival menu for all 3 meals of the day already planned out, and I just repeat this every week, that kind of, that really helped. It took off all the planning, all the grocery lists and things. Like, I didn't have to think a lot, and so it just kind of freed up some mental space for me. And then the things that I picked for our survival plan menu were all very easy to cook, things that we like a lot, and things that would like work for me for leftovers for lunch. And it worked, and we're gonna do this again next year. I had left some space here to go and make some notes about the survival menu plan, about things that I could cook ahead of time to be prepared for the rest of the week. And I never did that, but that is something that I really do want to do, and I might use a notes page for that. And I think I did set aside a notes page in here to have available. Yes, emergency menu plan here, and then I never did it. I still think it's a good idea. I just never got around to doing it, and so that's something that I might transfer this to here, and something that I can use for the rest of the year. These 2 pages I decorated ahead of time to be project pages. I used the Thanksgiving one, and I didn't use the snowman quilt one. And honestly, this whole project hasn't been touched. I did it one night. I started sewing everything together, and then I sewed it together wrong, so I had to take it all apart, and then it was late and I needed to go to bed, and then I just never picked it back up again. And so I did do some shopping for it. I needed to buy some more fabric, so I did at least make some progress there, but I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. And to be honest, I don't see that happening in the month of December. We'll see what it's like maybe in January, and then we can keep using it throughout the winter until, March, when it starts warming back up here. But the Thanksgiving list worked out pretty well. Most of the time with these kinds of lists, it's really just the planning and getting it out on paper so that I can see it all at once instead of keeping it all jumbled in my brain. And I didn't actually use this on the day of. I just instinctively knew what to make. I start the turkey and the ham early because they take a lot longer. Anything that's prepped ahead, like the green bean casserole and stuff, that doesn't take a long time. Basically, I just throw that stuff in the oven when the turkey is resting, and then by the time we're ready to eat, I can take it out of the oven. And it's just, cooking is my thing, and so it's pretty instinctive to me, and I don't actually need like a checklist usually, or like a plan if I'm doing everything myself. When I have help, that is when like a checklist comes in handy, because I can say, oh, whatever's next on the list, you can help me get ready or whatever. But it was just me this year. My husband and son were busy spending some time together, and that's what I wanted them to do anyway. So it worked out, and I needed this list to get the plan in my head organized, and then I was able to work on it without the list. So this week I used some stickers that were fall feeling to try to help me feel like this, like more festive, I guess, for this first week in November. And this was a week where I didn't draw my usual grid. It was just a bunch of lists. So there was no schedule. There's not even any dates on this, so I don't even know what date. So it would have been the 5th, the week ending on the 5th. And this obviously worked. I mean, you can see there was a lot of things I was checking off here, and everything that's highlighted is only highlighted to call it out after I checked most of the things off, because I can't really, it's really hard once I have like a long list like this to see everything. And once especially because I used these checklist stickers, that adds a lot more visual clutter. And that's why I don't usually like using these. They came on the page and I used them, but I just need to know better that that's not something that helps me. It actually hinders me a little more. But it was an easy fix by just highlighting the things that didn't get checked off yet, to just so I could see them. And then I was using a cleaning checklist, and I really liked it. And this is something that I need to bring forward into subsequent months, but I hadn't printed them out. And so I need to print them, and then they'll be useful. Obviously, I can't use it if I don't make them. So I need to print these for the next, few weeks. I can get 6 months worth on one single page that goes through my printer. So if I could just make a year's worth at a time, stack them up on my cover where I won't ever lose them, and then I will have plenty. Even if I only did one sheet and had the 6, that will get me through so many weeks of cleaning. I need to do that because this was super helpful. But it's not helpful if I don't have them printed. So this week, week 45, I didn't plan. It was just another week that got away from me, and I used this Cultivate What Matters sticky notepad, and it's the same layout that I love, that I normally draw out here on my weeks. And so, it's very similar. It just has a spot for like a top 3 up here. And so this was helpful when I just didn't have the time or the energy to film a Plan With Me video. I was able to just still use this. This isn't something that I want to use instead of my planner, but this is definitely like a perfect backup plan. And so I just did it this way. It was just, I filled out my week, and I did my checklist over here, and I even added stuff at the bottom, and this worked well for me for what I needed it to, and I'll continue to do that when I have that problem. So this week, since I needed to print more of these cleaning checklists, I actually wanted to try something, and I redid the prompts over here. If you look here, I had whited out some things. So I redid that, but then I only printed it on regular printer paper. And then I used my sticky note glue stick to make that a sticky note. I just wanted to see how that would work, and that's good in a pinch, like if I'm out of those white sticky notes or something, but I definitely prefer the sticky note that's already done to the just printing it out on paper and cutting it out. But that's where that is, and then I didn't even bring it forward, so that's kind of where I fell off with my cleaning. This week I used some Planner Kate stickers to decorate and feel fall-ish, and I liked them. And it was just my normal list, and I threw some deco on there, and I liked it. It works like always. And then this week I also didn't plan, and I had planned on planning. I used my Cultivate What Matters weekly refresh checklist thing, notepad thing, to kind of get an idea of what this week was going to look like, and then I was going to use that to plan the week. And this was actually Thanksgiving week, and it just never happened. So what I ended up doing was just using my sticky note glue stick and made this a sticky note so that I could put it in here just to show you for this flip through video. And I mean, it does have plans on it. It's just not, it didn't get translated into my typical planning layout. So this is, again, my typical planning layout. I tried habit trackers because I've been working on the habits workbook from Cultivate What Matters. I thought I could try to just incorporate some basic habits like drinking water, cleaning, walking. I didn't, and you know, going through that workbook has helped me realize like these are not important to me. As silly and hard to admit as that is, like cleaning, walking, reading, and drinking water are just not important to me to track. Like those are things that it's like, if I was in a perfect world, those would be things that I would track. But I'm still at a point in my season of life where I'm just too frazzled, I guess. I'm trying to get to a point in my life where the things that I'm tracking are just simple, regular person things. The things that I need to start tracking are things that are actually helping me achieve the goals. And the goals right now are getting to a point where things are simplified. And I'm still working out what those habits are, but drinking water is not one of them, even though it should be a good habit, but I just don't have the brain space right now to think about that all the time. I drink water when I'm thirsty, and that's about it. Okay, and then this was just the page of cookies that I need to make and treats that I need to buy for our Christmas time holiday buffet thing where we keep it up all month long to just have treats available for Christmas time. And so that's my little planning page for that, and I'll come and check them off as I make those and as I purchase the things that need to go on that little buffet. And then I didn't use this last notes page, and now we're going into December. So that is how I used my Erin Condren Monthly Planner functionally in the month of November. I really like to keep things simple, and that is how I used it this month, and that's how I'll continue to use it going forward. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really liked it, please consider subscribing, because I post a flip through video every month, and if you liked this one, you'll like those ones too, and I would love to see you in the next one. Until then, embrace your imperfections and just be you. Bye.